Slick and Shiny Tongue-in-Cheek Productions is now going to take a second look at Hecla, Pennsylvania. Normally this would be called Hecla number 2, but since Hecla number 2 is a mine over at Trauger, I don't want to introduce any confusion. We call this Hecla addenda, which means things added on. The good second declension Latin word that still means something in English. Coke Oven Mike did this work to kind of point out where the coke ovens were, where you see these yellow push pins. This yellow push pin is what we were looking at. This is Hecla. And it was surrounded by a whole bunch of other coke operations. These were part of the Connellsville coal field, which went the whole way down into Fayette County, and it was good coal for making coke out of. Coke was used to make steel. This was Hecla number 3 mine, which was at Hecla. And you can see in the foreground the dam. This water was needed to make coke. This was the mine itself. Right here was the head frame over top of the shaft. It was a 92-foot head frame, and the shaft went down to the 9-foot Pittsburgh seam of coal. This would have been the powerhouse over here. The hoist house was right down in here. This was a machine shop. That shows you where I got that image. It was a rather murky image, so I tried to work it up a bit. This gives us a look at Hecla. I will make things a bit bigger. See, there were 2 mines. One mine was right here. That was number 1, and right across the road was the water supply for making coke. The coke ovens were out here once upon a time. Down here was Hecla number 3. That mine sat about right here. Coke ovens were here. And this was the water supply for quenching the coke. This is the dam, which was used for Hecla number 3 mine and coke ovens. Coke ovens sat right here. Incidentally, this dam has been enlarged, increased in size. It's now a 9-acre dam. It was originally about this big, but it's more or less a recreational kind of facility. There are 2 dams. This is the dam up here for mine number 1. That's the dam for mine number 3. And you just see the outline of what was mine number 3. It's all been what we can call erased. This is the dam that's still there for mine number 3 and coke ovens. These are the remains of the coke ovens, which from what I can tell have been removed. This is the dam for Hecla number 1 mine, which was right across this road here. This is what we're looking at. The 2 dams, a dam for number 3, a dam for number 1. Coke ovens were down here. These were the houses, some of the houses up above the dam for coke oven number 1, Hecla number 1. These were the houses up here that we were looking at, right above the dam. And we'll see some of the dams down here. Some of the houses, excuse me. These are some of the single family houses. These over here were double family houses. See the double chimneys. And this was a large place, perhaps a boarding house, because not everybody who came to work in the mines had a family with them. Some of them were single guys who didn't really need a whole house, so they would rent space in the boarding house. This shows the difference between the two mines. This red line separates Hecla number 3 mine and Hecla number 1 mine over here. And what I did was I put a little bit of color on the reservoirs just to kind of distinguish the two mines. This was the mine for Hecla number 1, the reservoir, the coke ovens. The mine for Hecla number 3 was over here with the reservoir and the coke ovens. And right in the middle, there was a church once upon a time and a school that sat beside it. We're going to see if we can find the church. See, the church is still there. The school has been removed. And there is still across the road a post office. That's the church. That's the post office. And if you look at the sign, it says Southwest. It doesn't say Hekla, because the United States government knows the place as Southwest, not Hekla. Don't send letters to Hekla because it won't get there. Now, in our next view, we're going to be positioned right down here in front of the church, looking up toward this empty lot. See, we're right in front of the church, looking up toward this empty lot where there used to be a school. There's still a little war memorial sitting here commemorating the people who served. That's the school, which is no longer there. In the next shot you see, you'll be able to see just this corner of it. See, that's the corner of the school, which is gone now. And also the trolley tracks, which are gone now. These are the trolleys which used to serve. Here are two of them. See, this is on the tracks for the West Penn line. And the West Penn line met another line right here in Hekla. This was a line coming down from Derry and Latrobe. And there was a bridge out here because that trolley line had to go over top of the railroad which went underneath. These are all trolley lines. This is Greensburg and the West Penn line coming down, coming through Hekla down to Fayette County. Here's Hekla. And this is a line coming down from Derry. And we're going to see that point in 1939. This is an aerial photo, and it shows the trolley line coming down from Derry right here. See, this was a Y, and it met the West Penn trolley line right here. And next we're going to see this point right here where the trolley line went over top of the road. This is an older photo. You can tell by the vintage of the car. This is the trolley line going over the road. This was the company store. And that wasn't the only store in Hekla. There was a grocery store. There was a clothing store. There was a hotel. Once upon a time, there was even a livery stable where you could rent a horse. And out here, you see the slag pile. That's one of the few remaining things. A newer shot showing the trolley and the slag pile. And here's one of Coke Oven Mike's shots. This is where the coke ovens used to sit for mine number 1. And that's the slag that they pulled out of the mine, the stuff that they couldn't sell. This is an older photo showing the machinery that was in place that was used to bring up the slag so that they could dump it on top of these piles. And this is the Hekla slag pile. It shows some of the machinery still there on top of the old slag pile looking back toward Hekla over here. Now we get to see some coke ovens. These are shots that I did in 2001 when the ovens were still there. From what I can tell, they've been taken out. And when you look at the soil around these ovens, you can see that they've been burnt. You know, the soil turns red around these things. This is what we're looking at. These coke ovens right here. The ovens that were in place for Hekla mine number 3. I'm always fascinated by the interaction of man-made things and nature. people come along and make things, and nature comes along and just moves right in and takes over again. This shows how well these things were made. I can only imagine that they must have used wooden forms to build these things on, because you couldn't just build that and just hang it there in thin air. You had to build it on something. This shows down toward the ground, looking again. This shows the church when it used to have a bell tower on it. And putting a person in the scene gives a sense of scale. There used to be a platform along here at which you would have a track going along that would haul the coal cars where you could put the coke when it come out from the ovens. Another shot showing things where the ground level was closer to the level of the ovens. This is an older shot, not one I did, but it suggests something that Coke Oven Mike indicated in one of his blogs, that these ovens probably had metal doors at one time. You can see the heat, how the heat changed things. It changed all these bricks to black. And I think that's about as far as we're going to go. And we'll say so long for Hekla, and see you again. Bye now.